Welcome to TOPLINE HOTLINE.
Yes.
It's Thursday, happy Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, happy days. Thursday is your top line craze. You are wearing jerseys of
Oh my
sports
God.
teams. Anyway, welcome everybody to Top Line Hotline. It is that special Thursday section where we give you advice on your pressing go-to-market challenges. I'm Sam. I'm joined by AJ Bruno, CEO of QuotaPath, Asad Zaman, CEO of Sales Talent Agency. We try to make it fun. We try to make it lively. We try to make it entertaining, and we try to make it educational. We don't always succeed, but we always try. And with that, over to my friend Asad Zaman to ask us this question on today's Top Line Hotline episode.
Okay, so this is a question based on something somebody shared in one of our channels on Slack, and the point was they shared an article on CEO feedback, and they were asking the others in the group as to what their framework for getting feedback on themselves is. What's their process? What's the cadence? How do they go about it? So maybe we can touch on this as CEO feedback, as well as like if you're an executive, how should you be getting feedback? If you should be doing these type of reviews, what should you be doing? AJ, what do you think?
On reviews?
Yeah, like how do you get
feedback?
How do they get
how
feedback?
Do we besides from me and Asad who tell you that you're
there was
poopy all the time.
There was someone, I won't say who the person was, on the CEO Slack channel in Pavilion that had a rubric. And I'm going to go find it and ask the questions out loud. Can I do that? Is that allowed?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, do it. Just don't say who wrote it. But yeah.
I don't know if we've ever done this before.
It's so cool.
I'm doing something.
This is the power of Pavilion.
This is why the Slack is so cool.
It was a thread because I remember finding it.
It's in the all channel.
Oh, you're gonna call it out. Interesting topic. Yeah.
I wasn't very descriptive. I said it's in the all channel.
Yeah, this timely question for me. This person uses Paylocity and loves feedback and surveys. Last week, they requested feedback from their direct reports, made it anonymous. If they had very specific examples that would reveal who they were welcome to email, Slack, whatever. 7 open-ended questions. You ready? Here it is.
Yes,
Write them down.
Good.
These are my questions. In terms of strategic direction and leadership, what aspects of my management style do you feel are most beneficial to our team and our objectives? If you could suggest one area where I can enhance my management approach or leadership style to better support you and the team, what would it be? Considering our communication flow, are there aspects you believe I can improve upon to make our interactions more effective and productive? From your perspective, is there an aspect of team dynamics or project management that you feel would benefit from a different approach on my part? This is number 5. Are there specific tools, resources, or forms of support you feel, if provided, would significantly improve you and your team's performance and efficiency? In what ways can I further support you in achieving your individual goals, as well as the objectives of your team? Are there policies or strategies that I advocate for that you feel strongly about, either positively or negatively? How do they impact your work and motivation?
Great stuff. That's the answer to the question, Asad.
Let me be spicy then. I think all of that is nonsense. I think.
So
here's what I think. I think if you are a large Fortune 500 business, if you're a bank, you're a large business, you're IBM, you should have 360 reviews. You should get all of these type of surveys. You should do employee engagement surveys. You should do it all.
This is so spicy.
But if you are an early stage business or growth stage business, you're wasting your time and energy. Like you are trying to be bureaucratic. You are
disagree.
You're slowing yourself down.
Okay.
Let me finish. Let me finish it. Let me activate you a bit. Okay. You're wasting your time. If you're doing an employee engagement survey at a company with 37 employees, you just wasted some money and some time. If you are doing these 360 reviews and you're 50 employees, I think you wasted your time. You have hired the wrong people. If you need to create this psychological safety in your executive team to send them a survey where anonymously they want to give you these really simple pieces of feedback, if they can't come to you and give you that feedback the minute you should get it, you have created an environment that is moving too slow. You've created an environment where you don't have the right people supporting you on this mission. Building companies is hard. Going back to what we discussed in the episode before and what Lemkin said, this is not easy. This is hard, and you require you need to move quickly. And for you to be able to move quickly, you need to get feedback directly and quickly. So I think a lot of companies have ended up wasting a lot of time and energy being overly bureaucratic. And I think it's a big mistake.
Okay. Well, here's the counterpoint to this really quickly, and then let's Sam jump in. Shout out to confirm.com. We use them. I'm an investor, and they're one of the 3,700 companies I'm an investor in. So so it's not anonymous feedback, actually. It's feedback that goes up. You can flag people, you can gold star, you could do a lot of feedback, that just whatever. And what I, as a CEO, really appreciate is it helps me understand what are the departments that are having challenges in collaboration with each other. And those are really tough to understand across the margins of the organization, not the people, but where are their processes or broken pieces of it. And sometimes as a CEO at 100 people, you're not always going to know the answer to that, even though
but that's different, AJ.
You
that's
should have premonition and be able to see everything at all times.
That's a situational analysis. That's like a strategic deep dive. Like that's a very different thing to employee engagement and survey as a CEO, right? Like when you're sending out
you're going to hire me as your CRO someday because we talked about this in last week's
I'm not hiring episode. You. Red flag. Red flag.
All right, Sam. Sam's been sitting on the sidelines waiting to pounce on this
throwing stones. I don't know. This is a great one, and I love what you're saying, Asad. I want you to be right. I want you to be right.
He just wants me to. No, what he's saying is he wants me to be wrong.
No, I'm not.
That is what
saying
Sam is actually saying.
I want. Here's what I want.
I want you to be right too.
I want us all to make love from an ideas perspective. I want our ideas to. I don't. It's late. I want to believe that you're right, Asad, but I just know for a fact that it's easier said than done, to the point of saying, can you change culture from this week's episode? Like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, if you are not getting instant feedback the moment from junior level employees, that means you've hired the wrong people. Maybe so, but then all of us have hired the wrong people, because I know that as a function of being a CEO, you're just not going to get that feedback, and that you might think that everybody's got an equal voice in every meeting room, but that's because you're just used to being the CEO and you don't realize that it's not the same.
Why does the CEO need feedback from an SDR?
I don't know. That's a better question.
Like, why? I need feedback from my board and my executive team. And that's that, I think, is the core feedback. You shouldn't, as CEO, be wondering what your junior designer has to say about your execution against strategy and accounting.
Glassdoor has a totally different opinion.
Glassdoor can take a hike.
I wish that were so. I wish Glassdoor would take a hike. I don't know what the answer is. I know that I need feedback. I don't get it as often as I need it. But you're right that there's also a large group of people that I don't need it from, but there are a group of people that I do need it from, and I need more of it. But to get it, I need the right people at the company, because I need to respect their opinion when they're giving it. Because if I have the wrong people on the team, their feedback is worse than it's destructive, not valuable. And I remember I had an experience one time where, anyway, I don't need to go into it, but the point is, the feedback, we'd hired the wrong people. Their feedback was toxic, and we spent a long time at the executive level debating the feedback and whether we should do something about it, when in fact it was terrible feedback, and the only thing we should do is fire anybody that gave it to us.
Yeah. Do you also know that if you do an employee engagement survey in a small company, think about it from a statistics perspective. It's really hard for the math to make sense, for it to be statistically relevant. Do you also know that an employee in their first year will always give you higher scores than an employee in their 8th or 9th year? But fundamentally, that 8th or 9th year person is probably the more important person in an organization. Like if you have an organization where the average tenure is less than a year, you score higher than if you have the average tenure of 6 or 7 years. There are a lot of challenges for small businesses to do things like this.
We're mixing in metaphors here. We started off as CEO feedback. I agree with you, Asad. I think employee engagement surveys are largely a crock of pupusas.
Yeah, that wasn't what we were talking about.
I know.
We weren't talking about CEO.
Yeah. But I also don't believe in CEO feedback. There we go. Okay.
Here's some feedback. Do better.
I'll get working on that. As a direct report of Sam Jacobs.
All right, I got some feedback for AJ. AJ, I want to give you some feedback. Fire your head of marketing. Fire your head of marketing right away.
For the listeners, AJ is the head of marketing right now. Okay, that's the episode. Right. On time.
That was a great one. A little bit all over the place, but wonderful. Give us 5 stars. Tell your friends about it. Tell us when you walk up to us. Tell us how we've changed your life. You're welcome. And please send all gifts to Asad, and he will route them from Toronto back down here.
I will. Bye, everyone.
Right, we'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Topline Hotline.